Hello and welcome back to Purple Does Poison. This is level 17 of our Blightcaster Druid playthrough, 1 to 30. It's been a little bit interrupted, apologies for that, by a lack of time and the update 59. We're sitting here on the sky barge looking down over the sprawling city of Sharn. So where are we at now, and what do we have to share? Well, let's just look at a quick look at the hotbar, just in case there's things I've missed. That's our line of buffs, which is expanding nicely. We've got Death Ward on there, we've got the energy resists, Night Shield, which if you missed the first episodes is a level 1 spell for the Blightcaster, which is super convenient, so you're not having to either get Night Shield or Shield through a clickable, as my main Druid does, or through some kind of epic Destiny enhancement like the Shadow Dancer can. What else have we got? Jump, freedom of movement, very nice. So, what else are we using spell-wise on here now? We made the switch. I think, yeah, this is something that's worth mentioning. Level 17, and you suddenly get access to two very hard-hitting level 9 spells. So this is a big game changer. This Acid Well for the Blightcaster is probably going to be the thing that's going to carry us through the epics, as well as carry us now. One of you already mentioned that, I think, that it's very strong going forward, and as we're spec'd into acid, and the build is made for that. Tsunami, the traditional cold druid spell, but just very powerful in general, still with the knockdown, even though it's been nerfed for the update 59. It still scales up to level 20, so damage wise it's still very decent, as we've already seen with my main druid Fools. He's still doing some decent damage with it. So I wouldn't worry too much about the nerf on that. So those two, just those two, I could probably clear a quest just using those two. They are very strong, and that means that if we hadn't before kind of given up on the spell-like ability strategy, I think this would be a good time to do it and transfer your points into the efficient maximize and efficient quicken, heighten, whatever, but maximize definitely, because we're going to be leaning heavily on the Acid Well in particular, and this Tsunami as a backup. Yes, it's heavy on the spell points, which it means that we can do more than Reaper 1, especially with the changes to the healing spells and how they work in Reaper. Just to recap, if you didn't see that one, out of combat now, these heals will be doing their full potential, or as full as it would be if it came from another person. So no longer will we be having to sit around and cast piddly little spells waiting for the 10 points each time to fill our bar up, which I think is a really great adjustment. But you've got to be out of combat to do it. So basically, all those situations where you would be calling your hireling to you to top you up afterwards, you can now just use your spell. It's going to be so much nicer, I think. So much nicer. I can see the hireling healers becoming more redundant, and I'm rubbing my hands at the thought of that because I just hate them. Right, so I've interrupted myself. Those are our two big spells, and my early tests with them suggest they are definitely going to fit fit the bill for us. On Reaper 1 you just crush. I mean, you just throw that acid well down and everything just gets vaporized. It's that good. Our belts, plain gird for the greater heroism. If you didn't have crap UMD like we do, you could perfectly well use the scroll as well. I think that has a no fail of, is it 40 plus 44 maybe, something like that. And our miserable UMD, although I've put as many points into it as I can, we're still on 22. Maybe by the time we reach the cap we might have something half decent, I don't know. It made a big difference last life to have the charisma as the main. No, it wasn't the main stat, it was a side stat, but at least we put some points towards it, whereas this time charisma is effectively a dump stat. So yeah, that has been made to tell. I've got a little row down here with my damage over time things, horrid wilting, creeping doom and greater creeping cold, if there's a boss or something pops up. Still got some acid bits and pieces down here. The acid blast AoE, it's not bad, but I think it's tailing off a bit now because that's max level 10, although we do have with the Hive Master +3 to that, so that's something. Black Dragon Bolt, again for single targets, damage over time, so we've got 4 significant damage over times there that I can trigger against an end boss or a Reaper. Salt Ray for some crowd control, although I don't think I've heightened that, have I? So it could fail. What's the save on that? 41. The very deadly Word of Balance, deadly to Reapers but just very damaging in general, except of course to pure neutral targets. Where are our saves in general? That's the Sunburst SLA from the Season's Herald tree, so we're in the high 40s on the higher level spells, which isn't bad at all. So when we go into Reaper, because level 17 brings the 3rd tier of Reaper points, so I've taken the liberty of going with the extra DC there and 3 extra wisdom. So coupled with the wisdom we already have, I've taken some more wisdom in the Season's Herald tree there. So we should have wisdom 48 in Reaper. So that's going to give an extra 2 DC from what's on here, plus the extra 3 from the Reaper tree. So we're going to be in or around the 50 point mark for a save, which in late heroic I think is more than respectable. Not amazing, but respectable. So we should be looking to be doing full damage with these spells as often as not. I have 2 points remaining unspent. We're almost to level 18. One of them is definitely go in here. Well, I guess we could take the 2. We could take the 2 cores. I'm not crazy interested in the Storm of Vengeance spell-like ability, but against the boss it could come in, and because we have changed our belt, I think it's the only change gear wise. Yeah, everything else has stayed the same, but with the arrival of the tsunami for level 17 and the fact that we're not really using negative, the only big negative thing I was using was the Grasping Thorns, which had this negative enhancement on it to do more damage. Now the Grasping Thorns we've dropped and replaced with the Acid Well now. So that being the case, I've saved myself 4 points, got rid of this negative thing, because that only works on Entangle Spike Growth. And sorry, I was talking about the Spike Growth, wasn't I? Yeah. So the Spike Growth that served us so well for so long, I've got rid of that. Well, not got rid of it, but just it's been superseded by this Acid Well. So being as we're not using the spike growth, I've taken this defiled growth and neg damage away, and we can obviously save the 2 points for this rose and thorns thing as well, and I put them into this extra wisdom here on this side. That being the case, not using negative anymore, apart from the necrotic ray, I think we're strong enough on single target damage without needing to resort to that. So we've gone with this different belt option with electric and cold, spell power and crit, which is nice for us in our present state. We're making good use of this Core Lightning Storm. If we end up getting the Storm of Vengeance SLA as well, that's going to be helped by the electric power and crit. The Tsunami, we want to crit and be as strong as it can, so I thought that was the right way to go. Let's just show you where we're at with the character sheet. So the saves in Reaper, I think, bear in mind we're going to have +4 from Greater Heroism, so I think everything's going to be in or around the 40 mark, 40 plus. The reflex save, remember, gets boosted +6, is it by, yeah, +6 by the Reaper enhancements, so that's going to be a big help to the evasion that the build has from the Hive Master tree. Otherwise, I think we're doing okay there. So yeah, I'm saving my remaining 2 points to put in these 2 cores. That one is going to be tasty because Death Eater temporary hit points increased to 5. That's going to push it up over the 200 mark, that barrier of temporary hit points, which in Heroic is huge. I'm guessing that as we go on into Epic, that barrier, it's still going to be important, but perhaps less significant depending on the Reaper level that we choose to run, because spiky damage like from Red Crowns could go through that in one go, and then you're into your normal hit points, and that could be less good times. Otherwise, the Earthquake dealing acid damage, obviously we're spec'd into acid, we're boosting that. I haven't been making as much use of the Earthquake as I perhaps normally would. Namely because on the lower levels, like on Reaper 1, you just throw an acid well down and everything just disappears. And it's got a duration, hasn't it, I think? Has it got a duration? No, it seems to sort of linger and tick, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. It just seems to linger in the area and things walking in just it's got a very big AoE as well. So you know, and if things are a little bit spread out, it still seems to hit them all, which is great. My standard tactic with the Earthquake, because when you throw an Earthquake down in the middle of a group from distance, they seem to sort of slide out of the area of effect and end up not being... The net effect seems to be to just move them forward and they don't get knocked over. So I've with my main Druid, I accompany, before I do the Earthquake, I hit the group with a sleet, is it sleet storm? No, ice storm, to slow them down, and then this Earthquake. I could and probably should do the, I mean, that can stop them, can't it? This contagion, that's been very good for us to stun things in place. So maybe I should start more leading with that and then sending the Earthquake in. I think that would be a tactic more for if we boosted up the Reaper level. But again, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need like plenty of shrines, because it's still gonna go through the mana very quickly. That's the advantage, another advantage of running on lower Reaper. For a start, things are less likely to go through our temporary hit points, and secondly, Excuse me. Secondly, we are going to use less mana to kill our targets. Let's just check where we're at with the spell power. So that's not bad at all. That's going to increase a little bit in Reaper as well. But the spell critical chance is looking very nice. On the ones that matter, the acid, cold, electric, force, we're looking really tasty there, aren't we? So that's happy days. In case you didn't know, tsunami, half of it is cold damage, and if you look at the bottom there, half of it is bludgeoning, which is affected by force spell power. So that's another use for our force spell power and crit. The tsunami, that word of balance is affected by that too. Salt ray, although we use that more for crowd control than for damage. Is there anything else that's affected by force? I think probably not for the moment. Oh yes, the earthquake is. That's bludgeoning damage as well. Until you get the 5th core in Blight caster, and we start getting acid damage on that too. Right, I think I have just about waffled enough. Have I got any notes to share? Yes, we we have this thing with the Hive Master of being immune to many kinds of knockdown. I noticed in one of the Age of Rage quests with those force eyes or whatever they call them that throw force damage at you, when they do these explosion type attacks, we can get knocked down by that. I just made a little note of that. I think that is about it. So we're up to, we've done the cogs. We're up to the last of the first, if that makes any sense. The last of the first quests in Sharn, which is the Red Rain. And welcome to the somewhat lag fest that is the Orion public area. If it's going to let me in, please let me in. Go on. No? I don't think it's going to. There we go. Right. Best laid plans. This is, oh god, this is the one with the technicians and that tactical detonation, isn't it? Yeah.
This adventure, like so many others, begins in a tavern. You're supposed to meet a disgruntled fort employee.
For those of you who might not know this one, the sort of artificer technician types in here, they fire this AoE tactical detonation thing, which I don't think evasion works against. In fact, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. That's one of the sources of the expression, evasion is great until it's not. And they can fire that seemingly through solid objects like staircases and that kind of thing. So they need to be crowd controlled or annihilated in very short order if possible. To that end, I do have a finger of death on the bar, don't I? Let's just have a quick look at the save now. Look, we're into the 50s there. So yeah, not too shabby at all. And our saving throws are all in the 40s with greater heroism, so that's not bad either. See if we can locate this ledger. So the first job in here, if you don't know the quest, is to try to locate the storehouse ledger. I think there'll be a little that's the acid well going in. Look at that, just instant vaporized. Just trying to save some mana and let the sort of passive lightning storm thing take out some of the targets. There you go, that's pretty good. That's our evasion working for us. Yeah, the ledger is often inside one of the barrels, and there's like a glittering thing like there would be if there was a collectible to show you that there's something there. I like the core lightning storm. Sometimes I don't even know there's something there, and it'll hammer it. Oh my god, the targeting on that acid well, that was terrible. That was the tsunami, one shot that thing. Very nice. I still don't see any signs of a ledger though. There should be that telltale glitter. Oh, can you see down there? Just inside those boxes you can see the little glittering thing if you look. That's where it is. So as soon as we get that, we're through these bars.
Have been moved to the office upstairs for shredding. You need to get in there. You hear a scream of pain from up above. A scream cut short with steel.
And now we need to put the codes in on these wheels. The right hand wheel and left hand wheel we can see on the right area here, triangle. Can you see down there? There's a triangle there, purple triangle. Same deal. Oh, lag. Same deal on the left hand side, and the middle one you just have to switch round at random until you find it. So another triangle there you can see through the grate.
The air of confidence surrounds the handsome man who appears to be their leader. Let's pick up the pace, shall we? We still have to destroy the
Okay, so we don't know what this is, so we just keep going until it tells us. There you go, that's it. Until that you can tell when you've got it because the grate pops up there.
Snaps the being in a commanding tone.
Flick this lever thing and we're going to get some things coming through here. That's one of those technician guys. Oof. Yeah, they want either incapacitating or outright killing as soon as you can, those things. Now there's a little bonus objective down here. If you can take these golems out before they start tearing up these Vaunt prototypes. If you can collect enough prototypes you can get an optional objective break. Now we've got a 7 to go before we get an objective there. Let's try that. I think our salt ray is working nicely against these golems. Acid bolt. It's good to try not to commit too far into the corridors, because then you get, if you go in the corridor you get the fire from all the guns, and that's not happy times. I've been using the word of balance to hammer the Reapers. I could and should have used the contagion to stop them. Acid well on that, that's somewhat overkill. Dragon bolt. There we go. That dragon bolt's a big damage over time. I'm conscious of the mana now. There is a shrine at the end of this section, isn't there? So we should be fine. Now dragon bolt's a ray, isn't it? We should have double distance. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Let's just test this. Now this would have been feeble normally, the healing. But because we're out of combat, look. Happy days. And I don't know whether we have any decent positive power anymore. Oh, it's not terrible. Yeah, 253, that's acceptable. We just don't have a positive crit chance decent anymore because I removed the belt. The belt had positive and negative. I figure as we are relying mostly on temporary HP, I could let the positive go a little bit. Okay, let's go and see what's happening in here. You might look at it and think the damage is a bit mediocre from the black dragon bolt, but bear in mind it's a ticking thing over time. It does its initial damage and then apply 3 additional times in 8 seconds. Plus it's got double range, so it's nice for the death from distance, as I like to call that strategy. Oh, we've already. Oh, I was looking at the 2 prototypes, wasn't I? Isn't there a prototype in here, or has it got smashed? I thought there was. The door was closed, wasn't it? I thought there was always a prototype in here. Well, that's interesting. So we've got 2 to get. There's 1 at the end automatically, so we would like to get 1 here. Now that salt ray is doing an awesome job at holding up these golems. Put the acid well down, hopefully they'll walk into it. Yes, beautiful. So that's the last prototype that we really need, although there is 1 in the next room. Keep going while our lightning thing's still going. Okay, so that's the optional.
You hear the ominous hum of a dimensional anchor.
A shrine if we need it. I'll tell you what, I'll start the thing off down here, and if we get to a stage where we're struggling a bit for mana, I will bring a pause to the proceedings. Keep pressing the wrong damn keys. Okay. Oh, that was nice. Acid well. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, that was Contagion followed by Acid well, and we are going to need to shrine here, down here, aren't we? I can hear a soul. Where is the soul? Not today, sir. Not today. It's up here somewhere. Oh, that was a boo-boo. Big acid well down at the bottom. Wasted. Wasting all sorts here. That's more my poor play than anything else. We'll have a rest down here, I think. That's if they'll allow it. I still can't see that soul. There's supposed to be a soul somewhere here. Oh, way up. This could be a bit complicated. Okay, can we just stay out of sight while we do our buffs? Are they going to allow that? I think they might. So just a point of note, just like the Warlock stanch charges, the depravity that you use to charge your temporary hit points on the warlock, the temporary hit point barrier on this druid disappears when you use your shrine. So that's something to bear in mind. So we're our most vulnerable now before we get some kills in. Did we not hit that? Oh, okay. I think we've got one or two more of those horrible technician types up here. Have we? No? Oh, okay. If you don't know the quest, we go up to the top here and then we get 4 waves of things spawning from down the stairs. I'm going to try and CC them and then blast them. There's always one, isn't there? Always one that won't play the game. Okay, let's try the same again. What happened there? Okay. We do seem to be having a little bit of lag here. Oh my goodness. That's not good. Okay, heal. We're out of combat. Should be good. No, still got crappy healing. Oh dear. And that's better. Let's have the fire shield cold here, I think, because we've got a load of forge wraiths to come at the end if you didn't know. Oh, have we? Wait, according to that, we haven't defeated the 4th wave. Okay. My spell just completely stopped. There's lag all over the place here. Oh, and did you see that? I casted the spell and 5 seconds later it took effect on the thing. That wasn't great. Okay. I guess that's more fuel for any of you considering transferring away from Orion. Acid well.
Get back here, you cowards! These sprints aren't going to banish themselves. All right, don't do anything.
Okay, that's it. So if you did need another Vaunt device to complete the optional, there is one here at the end. So don't worry if you can't stop the golems and you think you're going to fail because of that, because one of the mandatory quest objectives is to discover at least one. There's always one at the end. Okay. That's, in my opinion, one of the toughest quests in Sharn, if not the toughest, made so by the presence of those technician people. They really can be rough and add a significant degree of random into the proceedings. It's just find a way to stop them or to kill them very quickly. Right, I think that's all for level 17. Hope that was alright for you. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.